Hello everybody, this is Tenacious Dazzyman, aka Dazzyman, back from the previous tutorial. So now we did tutorial 1 and 2, and now we're going to do
Dungeon
tutorial
Basics. The
3.
newcomer evil should learn the dungeons for advanced students. The skilled evil quickly learn the skills needed to run a dungeon very efficiently.
So we'll get us straight on it. The co-op thing. Ooh, okay. Oh wow. Okay, sorry I messed up then. Didn't realise you could do co-op, so that's
Dungeons
cool.
for advanced students. The skilled evil quickly learn the skills needed to run a dungeon very efficiently.
There's some hot chocolate. Ah, I've lost all my carers. Right, here we go. Yeah, so it's on an external hard drive to connect to PlayStation 5 Pro, but it's using an old SSD, HDD.
The knowledge-thirsty evil obviously couldn't get enough of these crazy tutorials. All right then, let's improve our knowledge of the dungeon. The absolute evil's creatures gathered experience from battles over the course of time, and thus reached new levels. This was to be welcomed, as higher-level creatures were much more powerful. Unfortunately, the creatures also became harder to please as their levels increased, and had the impudence to demand new things. Unbelievable! Well, that borders on treason. Horde creatures, for example, would later demand beer that they themselves produced in the brewery. But the brewery was still a long way off, as the annoyed evil's little snots had once again proved their lack of intelligence and hadn't built any workplaces in the dungeon.
Right.
Toolboxes would later be needed for the brewery. These were produced by little snots at workplaces in the workshop. Sighing, the once again disappointed by its workers' evil, set about building the workplace.
Okay. So now we know, first thing you do is triangle, construction, general rooms. I don't know why they're glimmering, but we've got a workshop we need. And a creator mat is built in the workshop. So we have toolboxes. Okay, so we'll build the workshop first. Right. That already what is that then? Is that already a workshop? What is that? Build a crate, oh, okay, right, fine. So it's that we have to build, okay. I've already built a workshop now. I'm gonna watch this.
The little snots willingly set to work producing toolboxes with a stupid grin on their faces. These were needed to build the workplace in the brewery. A cast iron brewing kettle made out of toolboxes? Computer game logic. The not particularly known for its patience evil patiently waited for enough toolboxes to be available.
I like that. So if can I pick that up? Okay. Level 2. Got 2 there. Now what do we do? Put them in here. No. does mean that sign up there. Oh, okay. Right, it's built 3.
The splendid eagle
Right,
had
okay.
finally produced enough toolboxes by waiting in boredom. It quickly set about building the brewing kettle.
Here we go. Construction menu. Brewing kettle. No, we can change. So L1 changes to rotation. That's what you want. Yeah. There we go. So your brewing kit's here. Here we go. I like that way he's doing the boxes. That's funny. Let's go items up. I'll turn the brightness up slightly as well. It's on the TV, not the actual PlayStation. That sounds like a cat bringing up a fur ball. Sorry if you're eating your tea.
The brewing kettle stood proudly, and the
Oh, that's
diligent little snots
beautiful.
went directly to work producing the delicious brew, so that the horde creatures could soon start knocking it back. All that was missing was someone playing some good old-fashioned folk music. Then again, maybe not. Always makes my ears bleed. But
know
now
what that
for
one's
something
beautiful.
completely different, as the hard-working evil now had access to the lecture hall. There, additions to normal research in the form of scrolls could be made for small amounts of gold, time, and evilness. The always slathering for something new evil quickly began to try them out.
Research scrolls. Right, research menu. Oh wow, okay. Oh, sorry, my bad, mate. Workshop. Done that one, right? Shit. Sorry, apologies. Just a moment.
Yes, my grandmother always found that a good choice.
Right, so click on this to eat. They're doing scrolls by the looks of it.
Splendid work. The good-humored evil had not only satisfied its alcoholic creatures, but at the same time learned more about research. It now considered itself well equipped to begin converting the lessons learned into evil, nasty deeds.
Not quite sure that one.
The final...
Okay. That's tutorial, everybody.
And now it's time for a good book. I still have this comic, and if I were to make myself a drink, I could... Oh, wait. You're here? What? I thought we'd done all the tutorials. What do you mean the menu offers a fourth tutorial? But I don't have any more documents for that. I'd love to work with professionals just once. Those boneheads at Realmforge can't even get the main menu right. They're probably busy building the Berlin airport. Well, since you're already here, we can... Oh, crap. Third person. Well, since the already arrived evil was already there, probably forget that drink, the keeping the narrator from his hard-earned drink and his lovely Marvel comic book evil commenced yet another tutorial. In this one, it would, learn something about, traps and spells, like, how to make and use them. It was a pretty, free-form tutorial, as if someone had just made it up really quickly. It was about defending the dungeon against attacking heroes. A few traps had already been placed. These were ready to make life difficult for every hero that approached them. Some others were manually triggered by a blow from the Hand of Terror. Here, timing was everything. The Arcanium already held a lot of mana, ready to be used for powerful spells.
This is so like Dungeon Keeper. Right, I've got to cast a spell. Use a manual trap. So let me cast a spell then. Is it? Right, so if I just bring the spell menu up then, what's the spell menu? Open the menu. Not research, so what exactly is it?
Oh. Oh.
Oh, okay. Right,
A suspicious trampling of heavy boots and clanging of armor was heard in the dungeon. Soon, the first heroes would enter the dungeon.
Oh.
There are enemies in your dungeon.
No, you get back.
Oh. Oh.
I think we got him. Creatures.
Enemies have entered the dungeon.
Oh shit. Okay, we now realise we can kill our own people as well. Fair enough. At least we know now. Right, so done that. We'll do spells.
There are enemies in your dungeon.
Spells. This is great. Right, spells.
Payday. The dungeon heart is being attacked.
Shield. That's cool.
Enemies have entered the dungeon.
Oh, bloody hell. What will that be like? Oh man.
Enemies have entered the dungeon.
Oh man. Spells. Meteor shower. Spells.
The last hero had been fended off. The tutorial was finished. Finally, I can get back to my gin and tonic. I mean, super. Well done. So, now it's time you turn to other things. Things that don't stop me from drinking and from reading my comic.
Now, I think it's brilliant. There's going to be a but. It's harder on a joypad than it would be on a keypad and a mouse. Very, very much so. I think as I get into it, and as you watch me, or you get into it yourselves, it's going to get easier. It's definitely worth it. I think if you're playing co-op, I don't think it's cross-play anyway, but I think if you're playing against somebody, then it would be very difficult if it's cross-play. But as a PlayStation 4 game, which, like, you know, times have moved on leaps and bounds. I'd go and see what when it came out. Let's have a look. Yeah, it came out in 2017, so the mechanics on a console, that's quite new actually, having that kind of things for a PlayStation 4 and that. So yeah, I like it. I think it's great. If you want my quick take on it now, I still have reservations for the control scheme, but apart from that, I think it's an 8 out of 10. As a quick take, I'd say it's my cup of tea, my cup of Yorkshire tea. For a quick take from now, I think it's really good fun. With these games anyway, the last of the game part really is the fighting. It's more about building your dungeon and creating traps and that, and then fighting's really just like whack-a-mole, like Command and Conquer. The originals, I don't know what it's like now, but Command and Conquer was like just sending the horde, you know, just send everything in, and you could tell for so long which is hiding and you know, defending, but eventually you would get overwhelmed. But you just send it in, send it in. But your buildings, you know, when they come, so you build and get ready. Okay, so yeah, I like it a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this one.
Absolute evil. The shadow of absolute evil had crossed the sea and now sought the chosen target, a dark elf named Talia.
I think that's a start.
Once upon a time, the fairy tale hating evil had traveled to the magical land. The shadow of absolute holiday fever. Talia had gone to Tortuga for a well-deserved rest. The return. Show us what you're made of.
Okay, so that must be the DLC. Right, so the main campaign is the shadow of absolute evil. Right, so I'm gonna stop it now and I'm gonna start the campaign. Okay, see you guys and girls, touch with you.